Hi, I'm Christine Tizzard, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite chocolate recipes. These are my supernatural raw vegan brownies, which are great. No cooking involved, no eggs, no dairy, super healthy. And these are all the ingredients that you need to make this recipe. First thing is we're going to need some of these nice, fat, juicy Medjool dates. It's going to be the base of our brownie mix. We're going to need unsweetened coconut, sea salt, some nut butter. I'm also going to use walnuts and almonds in the recipe, some raw cocoa powder, chocolate chips, and vanilla extract. So we have our 2 cups of pitted dates, and I love the fact that we're using dates in this recipe as a replacement for any other refined sugar. Now to those dates, we'll add our unsweetened coconut. We don't need any more sweetness. I'll add a pinch of sea salt. Use whatever you have on hand. I'm gonna add my nut butter. I'm just gonna use a peanut butter here because I always have it in the fridge, but use whatever you have on hand. I also love the combination of peanut butter and chocolate. The raw cocoa powder, which is great. Extra antioxidants. And here, I have my walnuts. Now this is 1 cup of walnuts that I've soaked overnight in water. I've soaked the walnuts to increase their nutritional value. They get a little softer, which is great. And by soaking them, it helps our body absorb the nutrients of all the walnuts. Now I'm gonna blitz this for a few minutes, or I'm gonna blitz this for a few pulses. And what we're trying to do is make a date paste here. So you just want to pulse all of those ingredients till everything breaks up. And we should have a really nice date paste, which is actually going to be our brownies. This is the base of our brownies. Now I want to break up the nuts a little bit more, but first I'm going to add 2 more ingredients. I want to add some more flavor. So here is some pure vanilla extract. This is vanilla extract that I make myself. Just going to add a splash. This is just vanilla beans and vodka. And melted chocolate. So ahead of time, I took some of those chocolate chips. This is a nice 70%, and this is 50 grams. I'm just gonna pour that over top. I melted this in a double boiler just so the chocolate wouldn't burn. You could also just pop it in the microwave. Really easy. You can also use semi-sweet if you wish. I just like the dark chocolate. And we'll pulse that again. You can see how it's sort of turned into a ball now, and that melted chocolate has added such a nice shine to it. So this is done. Now all I have to do is get it in the pan. So I have my pan, it's just a small square pan. I also have these weird paper clips. You're probably wondering what I'm doing with them. Well, this is a great trick that I've learned through food styling. Since we're not baking this, and this mixture is super dense, it's not easy to spread, but I still want to line this pan so they pop out really easily. So I have my parchment. I'll get my scissors, and I'm gonna line this twice with the parchment. So we'll just cut to fit. And then I'll use my clips to secure it in place. And we'll do that one more time. See, in this way, it's not gonna move around on us while we're trying to spread it out. So I have that lovely brownie mix. See how thick it is? And I'm just gonna use my hands. It's the easiest way to do this. Wanna get it all to the corners. So once we have it almost level, I'm just gonna grab a spoon and I'll just use the back of the spoon to level it out. No eggs, no butter, no refined sugar. Just great, all natural ingredients. Now brownies are just not the same without a really great frosting. So I'm gonna pop these in the fridge. I'm gonna let this set and I'm gonna make our chocolate ganache frosting. Beautiful. So if we're making vegan brownies, it makes sense to make a vegan frosting. So I'm gonna show you a really easy vegan chocolate ganache frosting. So no dairy. So in place of dairy, I'm gonna make almond milk, homemade almond milk. Nothing quite like it. So these are raw almonds that I've soaked in water overnight. I'm going to drain them. And you're also going to want to give them a really good rinse. Soaking them overnight makes them nice and soft, and this way we can blend them easily. We can put those right into our blender. This is where one of those really good quality blenders come in hand, and I'm going to fill it up with 4 cups of cold water. 1 cup of soaked almonds. I like to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Yep. My almond milk, just a little bit of flavor. And by making your own almond milk, it's great because a lot of the almond milks, soy milks, all of those milks that you get in the grocery store, they have a lot of sugar already added. So this way I can infuse my own flavor without adding any sugar. I'm also gonna add a little pinch of sea salt. And now all we have to do is blend. So this usually takes a minute. It's all nice and foamy. And I'm gonna strain it. Now, I bought one of these nut milk bags, but you could very easily use 2 layers of cheesecloth. You can just give it a squeeze. Twist it around, and you want to get all the liquid out. This typically lasts in the fridge for up to 5 days. You'll also find that when you make fresh nut and seed milk, if it's sitting in the fridge, it'll sometimes separate on you. It's fine, just give it a really good shake before you use it. There we go. So that's done. I'll save the pulp, I'll use that later. I'll put it in some sort of baked good. I'll measure out my ½ cup that I need for my ganache frosting, and the rest I'll store in the fridge. We'll just heat the almond milk up to a first boil, just over a medium heat. And there we go. Take it off the heat, and we're gonna pour that over our chocolate. Now this is where you want mini chocolate chips or shaved chocolate, because it's the heat of this milk that's gonna melt the chocolate for us. We have to do very little work here. I'm just gonna let that sit undisturbed for a little bit, and I'm gonna get those brownies out of the fridge. So these have been in the fridge for about an hour. They've gotten a little more firm, which is exactly what we want. I'm also gonna put a pinch of sea salt in our ganache as well. Nice big whisk, and I'm gonna start whisking from the inside out. You see how easy that was? Easiest frosting ever. So now all that's left is to pour it over our brownies. Just gonna get a spatula. Now this is all nice and loose now and gooey. But we do want it to firm up. So we're gonna put it back in the fridge. I'd say after another 40 minutes, the frosting will be firmed up enough for us to cut into these brownies. Just using a small little offset spatula here. Get a nice little design in there. Lick the palette knife. And these are gonna go back in the fridge. So our super natural raw vegan brownies, they've been in the fridge a little over an hour. So I think it's time we cut into them. Remember how we layered the parchment 2 different ways? Well, this is why. It's so easy to take them out of the pan, and I don't have to clean this up. I just fold down the edges. And because these are so decadent, I kind of like to cut them into little small squares. Slide the knife through. And you can start plating them. This stuff just peels back, which is great. I find that these brownies are best kept in the fridge. And they also freeze really, really well. So anytime you want, you just pop them out of the freezer. There you go. Super decadent. No baking. I'm gonna taste one. They're pretty over the top. I can almost convince myself that these are good for me, for sure.
I repeat, you are